This week on WestfordCAT News, Westford's health department waits for the vaccine. The Friends of the Cameron Senior Center hold an online auction, and Town Manager Jodi Ross makes her fiscal 2022 budget presentation.
The impacts of the pandemic have been substantial, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that, but in particular to local revenue.
I'm Joyce Polino Crane. Stay with us. WestfordCAT News is next. Town Manager Jodi Ross presented her fiscal 2022 budget on February 9th at a joint meeting of the Select Board with the School and Finance Committees.
So this has been a tough year, probably the most challenging year in my life, both at work and at home. But the impacts of the pandemic have been substantial, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that, but in particular to local revenue, and you'll see that as we move forward. So we're starting with, what did we do? You gave us a budget policy direction. We tried to achieve that, adhere to it. I believe we did maintain level services. We do have a capital plan that is sustaining assets. We always share mission statements or charts. And we explain the differences from what happened in 21 to what we're proposing in 22. And we offer transparency. All this, again, is on the website.
Ross listed a number of challenges for the fiscal year that begins on July 1st. Among them, increasing solid waste tipping fees. Also, the cost of life and health insurance benefits for retired town workers has grown to $72 million. Collective bargaining, health insurance, energy costs, the snow and ice deficit, and numerous other challenges are among the increasing costs of running this town of about $24,000. To watch the entire joint board meeting on demand, visit WestfordCAT.org. Superintendent Bill Olson's proposed job description for elementary school assistant principals was unanimously approved by all 7 school committee members on February 8th. The new cost-saving measure will combine the responsibilities of K-5 assistant principals with the requirements of student support leaders.
Yes, we're presenting and bringing back to you the job description that we presented at the last meeting. Hopefully you've had a chance to view it. Once again, this job description will allow us to take our current assistant principals and our current special education student support leaders and blend them. In other words, we will now take 6 different positions and combine them such that each elementary school will have a full-time assistant principal. And if you recall, the incremental cost of that is a little over $7,000. But that will mean each position in each elementary school will be responsible for leadership tasks, but also student support duties, job responsibilities. We think, and very strongly think, as you know, that this will provide a greater consistency, greater focus on a smaller number of students. That's very important. We will get to know the students a little bit better, these 6 positions. And once again, for the public and for the boards and committees, that we are not increasing any personnel. We're just combining 2 positions into essentially a singular position with a job description that has 2 different responsibilities. The learning curve applies to those assistant principals, current assistant principals, who oftentimes sit in on certain meetings and team meetings, and will will receive some significant professional development. I know Courtney has talked repeatedly since last year and suggested certain professional development that they will obtain, because that's where I think the bulk of our training with the merger of these two positions needs to lie. All of them have leadership skills, or they, quite honestly, they wouldn't be in the positions that they're in. But we want to make sure that the current assistant principals, who will now take on the role of student support leaders also as part of their responsibilities, will certainly receive strong and robust professional development. Courtney, if I may, could I defer to Courtney and she can address this?
We will work with each one to make sure that they have the skill set that's necessary to chair the team meetings. The meetings that our student support leaders currently chair mostly include the eligibility meetings. So whether it's an initial evaluation, a 3-year evaluation, there are some students who do have student support leaders at each one of those team meetings, but that's not always the case. When you are looking at a cycle of eligibility, it's every 3 years. And so there are 2 annual review meetings that occur between the time of those eligibility meetings. And typically those are chaired by the special education liaison. We are fortunate that our building administration has a very strong interest in the students and all of the students, and it is quite rare that an administrator isn't at one of those team meetings. But each of our liaisons have been trained to go ahead and do their own annual review meetings. At those meetings, they are there representing the district, talking about a student's current performance, talking about recommendations, and have full authority to make the appropriate recommendations for their students. So they do have that training.
To watch the entire school committee meeting on demand, visit WestfordCAT.org. The COVID-fighting vaccine has not yet reached Westford, according to Health Director Jeff Stevens, despite his requests.
I want to share the sentiments the Board of Selectmen have with the lack of vaccine in town. There's nobody more frustrated than my department and this not being here. We've worked extraordinarily hard to try to get it. We have done all the things you're supposed to do. Jodi's help has been very useful, and we will continue to take it whenever we can. All the muscle we can take, we will take to try to get it. I want to let people know that we have a clinic set and ready to go. It is going to be at Neshoba Tech if we actually ever do get vaccine. We have our people. We have the registration process. We're set with the senior center and getting people registered. We're just lacking that one piece in the vaccine. We have heard from other towns that they're not getting it either. Yet we have our neighbors getting it in Chelmsford, and they're getting it at Lowell. One thing we're hearing is that we're going to need to be able to probably regionalize, and that was something that kind of got dropped on us today, which was really frustrating and something we could have been working on for quite some time if we knew before today.
First responders in town will receive their second shot of the vaccine this week, Stevens said, made available through a regional effort which includes Westford. Lowell General Hospital has shifted its COVID-19 mass vaccination program to Cross River Center on Pawtucket Boulevard East. To see more locations for vaccinations, visit ma.gov. As Vice President of the Friends of the Cameron Senior Center, Pat Rapucci and the Friends are in the midst of throwing an online auction through February 17th. Rapucci and her colleagues are looking to raise money to help the Friends help others. Rapucci has about 20 items up for bid, including 2 Balik swans and Balik bowls and several basket arrangements.
There's gift baskets, Amazon gift card, I believe 100 gallons of heating oil to be bid on.
And you want to say where that was donated from?
That's Concord oil, courtesy of Nancy Cook. So we've had some wonderful donors. We have 2 oil paintings. One of them is Andrew Cosman, one of his paintings.
But I'm seeing crochet baby blankets. Oh my God, how beautiful.
Yeah, they are beautiful. Baby blankets, a shawl, a wrap. And then some collectibles that some people might be interested in. There, I think there's 2 swans out there,
Mhm.
and they're Balik China is what they are. They are from Ireland, and I know we have people that collect the Balik items.
To watch the entire interview on demand, visit WestfordCAT.org. The arraignment of a Westford Academy history teacher scheduled for February 10th has been postponed until February 24th. Michael Colson is accused of criminal harassment and identification fraud, according to an Air District Court official. The allegations were brought by a Westford resident. Colson is the former president of the town's teachers union known as the Westford Education Association. When reached by phone on February 10th, Colson's attorney, Lisa McKinney, said, Mr. Colson expects to vigorously challenge the allegations against him when the case is taken up in court. He has not been arraigned, and he is entitled to the presumption of innocence unless or until a judge or jury has found him guilty. I would have no further comment at this time. That's it for now, Westford. I'm Joyce Polino Crane, and you're watching WestfordCAT News.